Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Tuesday, the 22nd of July, 2025. I'm Graham Hughes, and you are watching Morning Brew on Politics Social. Big shout out to everyone in the chat, all the cool kids in the chat. We've got Trip in there. We've got Reagan Elite. Hi, Reagan. We've got Diz. We've got One Angry Pagan. We have got Scots. We've got Martin Harrow. We've got Liebshin. Graham Haller is in there as well. Loads of other wonderful, sexy, erudite people. If you'd like to join our crew of socialites, all you need to do is hit that big, juicy subscribe button. Go on. You know you want to. And then you can opine sort of freely. Because if you're going to be a troll, yeah, you'll be in trouble. We don't tolerate trolls here on the Politics Social. We just don't. Talking of trolls, Nigel Farage. I think we're going to talk about him today. Sorry, just a little bit at the beginning of the show. And then we'll talk about more interesting things like, I don't know, the fucking lint that I found in my belly button this morning. So, the toad-faced populist, the foghorned, bollocked-faced foghorn of ignorance, the natterjack toad reflected on a doorknob, the absolute fucking scumbag who is going to drive Britain into the biggest depression we have ever had. He's halfway there, forcing the Brexit vote through and then claiming no responsibility for forcing the Brexit vote through. He says anything. He says anything that he thinks the people want to hear, and people lap it up because he knows, as I do, and people who watch the show should do, that people have better things to do than to be, paying too much attention to politics. So he comes out with very simple sounding sound bites, which are absolute nonsense, stuff that he cannot do. Like, he said he was going to halve UK crime if we get into power. His plan includes 5 new Nightingale prisons. Florence Nightingale, nurse. Let's put her name on a fucking prison. Yeah, that seems like a good legacy. That seems like a good way to memorialise her. He wants 30,000 new police officers. He wants to deport thousands of foreign nationals. And he wants to send British nationals to El Salvador to serve out their prison sentences. He wants the trials to take place in the UK, but he wants these criminals to be sent to El Salvador, where over 200 people have died in recent years in the jails they have there, where there are numerous, valid reports or credible reports of torture. He wants to send British citizens who have been convicted of a crime, maybe erroneously, because that sometimes happens. He wants to send them halfway around the world to be tortured and possibly murdered in a foreign jail. This is his plan for crime. How's he going to pay for it? Well, he's going to scrap net zero, which is going to cost money, because it costs £3 to take my car from here to Liverpool. I'm in Durham, Liverpool, £3, okay? So think of the cost saving that your company can make by going completely green, by investing in solar panels, in a wind turbine nearby that powers your factory, that powers your shop, that powers your distribution hub. Think about the money you would save having electric vehicles in your fleet. And Nigel Farage, because he's paid for by the foreign slime corporations, the oil corporations that want to sell their filthy, toxic foreign slime that they dig out the ground and put it all over themselves. They like being all slimy, and they want him to sell it. They want us to be completely on our knees, like with the oil companies, the filthy foreign slime companies. Like, I don't want to say this early in the morning. My mum might be watching this, but you can imagine what he wants. He wants Britain. He wants Britannia on her knees to these foreign fucking companies. And it's not even foreign companies, is it? Because when we buy oil from Libya or buy oil from Qatar or Saudi Arabia or Angola, we are propping up the ruling elite of those countries. We're effectively buying it off the government of those countries. We're propping up these oligarchies and autocracies in the Middle East and in sub-Saharan Africa and in Northern Africa Like, why? This is the guy who says we shouldn't give foreign aid. All right, so we shouldn't give foreign aid to the people who actually fucking need it, but we should give it to the oil billionaires. Right, okay, yeah, nice one. The oligarchs, yeah, they need the money. They need our money that we're spending on fuel in this country because he wants us to be always beholden to these motherfuckers on the other side of the fucking planet who have already got more money than they can possibly spend in their lifetimes, in 10,000 lifetimes. And yet there he is going, no, oil is great. Yeah, oil is great. I wonder who pays me. I wonder who pays me to say that oil is more marvelous. Twat. Honestly, I really wish, I can't really say this. You know what I wish, right? It involves that plane crash he was in. Yeah. This country would be a much, much better place today. It might have gone a different way. It would have been it would have been the Britain of 2012. The London Olympics. That's the Britain that I want to get back to. Joyous, multicultural, fucking cheap. The price of everything has gone through the roof because of Nigel Farage and his posh, privileged, private schooled prick mates. Richard Tice, Aaron Banks, Andy Wigmore, Daniel Hannon. Hello, shall we play polo on the fucking lawn later? Would you like to come? You know, get on the horses. What fun. Twats. There's not enough bad things I could imagine happening to them. Do you know what I mean? Keeps me going. Oh, wow. One Angry Pagan has upgraded his membership to Hyperstar. Hyperstar. That is absolutely incredible. Thank you very much, One Angry Pagan. That is incredibly generous of you to join the Hyperstar tier of membership of this channel. And in return, we'll have to do something. I think we should have separate credits for people at the high levels, and we should do some shows. I think we should have like a show a month where it's everyone who's at the highest tier of the membership of this channel. And you get all to come on and we'll do a big Zoom call together. What do you reckon? We can do that. Just don't say anything libelous, please. You can hint it. But yeah, join the channel. Join the channel. Be like One Angry Pagan. Not necessarily angry, but, join the channel. You can be a pagan, though. That's quite cool. And unicorns. One Angry Pagan has been a member for 26 months. Really wish more people could see as I do. Our species is the first that we know of that is actually conscious of our own evolution and are consciously able to affect it going forward. Farage and his ilk would have us going backwards. Yeah, absolutely, mate. You're just spot on. You are absolutely spot on. It's just, yeah, it is just disgraceful. And, yeah. So he's going to pay for it by scrapping net zero. I mean, this is a toad-faced opportunist flogging fear for votes. This is not a serious policymaker. This is like a child, a particularly annoying, rich, pompous child who's been kicked out of their posh private school for smoking weed or, I don't know, sexually assaulting one of their classmates, and they get put into a comp and they turn up and all the kids in the comp are like, oh, wow, you're posh and rich. Maybe if I hang out with you, some of your poshness and richness will like, sort of gravitate towards me by fucking osmosis. How do you think that's going to work? There's no trickle down. How long does this lie that's been around for 45 fucking years, how long does it have to be before people go, actually, no, it's not trickling down? The billionaires have doubled their money since COVID. The billionaires have doubled their amount of money they have. The rest of us, fucking halved. The stuff we can do has fucking halved. Think about how much we go out now, how much we go to the cinema, how much we go to gigs. You go to gigs, do you? Yeah, it won't be 1 or 2 a year now. I used to go to 1 or 2 a fucking week back in the day when it was £7.50 to go and see a fucking gig. Now, Jesus wept. I saw Oasis and Blair in the same week in Manchester in 1995. And both tickets were about 11 quid. And they were top of the charts. That was the summer of the Blair versus Oasis fucking battle. That was the year that not what's the story. What's the follow-up fucking called? The second Oasis album, whose name momentarily escapes me. It was the year that came out, and The Great Escape by Blair, which is, less good. But I just, and the price of everything, the price of a pint of beer being nearly £7, and we're just going, yeah, that's normal. Yeah, that's fine now. £7 for a pint of beer. Hey, thanks, Nigel. Thanks, Nige. You twat. Not a serious policymaker, just a billionaire-backed puppet for Trump, Putin, and the oil barons, the slimy foreign slime purveyors who want Britain to stay angry, divided, and dependent on fossil fuels, suckling on the fucking slimy teat of these oil companies with their fucking disgusting slime that they sell us, their filthy slime that is killing us, killing every one of us, killing our children, killing our future, killing our fucking living planet. And all for money. All for money. There's a better alternative. There's a cheaper alternative. This is madness now. This is beyond madness that we're still sticking our dicks in the fucking exhausts of fucking internal combustion engine cars. Like, fuck off. Their time is over. I want massive subsidies from the government for everyone to get a fucking electric car, and I want everyone to be able to drive for £3 to get to Liverpool. How about we have electric minibuses, eh? So we can take the family on a public bit of transport, public transport. How about that? And it's like, what? £1 each. Such fucking bullshittery. The bullshittery is the problem. Nigel Farage's policies are just theatre. They're creating a crisis narrative when the data shows the opposite. Crime is down, my friends. Here's the good news, right? There's not lead in the fuel anymore. There's not lead in the paint. There's not lead in the pipes. If there is, you get the water company to turn up and they'll get rid of the lead in the pipes for you. So there's no lead in your fucking pipes. But unfortunately, in the 1980s, there was a lot of lead in fucking everything. And what does lead do? It fucks your brain. That's why you shouldn't vape. There's a lot of lead in vapes. 10 or 20 times the amount of lead than there are in cigarettes. It's ridiculous, right? Lead affects your reasoning. It makes it so you become unreasonable because it fucks your brain. Lead poisoning works in a weird way. It doesn't just knacker you like other poisons, other toxins. It goes for your brain like the fucking fungus in The Last of Us. It goes through your brain and takes it over. Makes it so you're addicted to internal combustion engines, huffing fucking petrol like a fucking lunatic. But now, not there. We don't have this generation's growing up. They don't have any fucking lead in their fuel. And look at the rate of serial killers. Where have they gone? Where have all the serial killers gone? Come on, answer that. Serial killing, 1950s, fuck all. 1960s, it's getting a bit worrying. 1970s, Jesus Christ. 1980s, it looked like everyone was a serial killer. There was a serial killer on every fucking street corner. 90s, through the fucking roof. And then it started coming down again. Once they took lead out of fuel, and I know that correlation is not causation necessarily, but, come on. We know that this particular toxin makes people go crazy, makes people be unreasonable, makes people think they're king of the fucking world and they know best. So much so that they would go and kill other human beings to prove their worthiness of the lead or whatever the fucking parasite that is growing in their fucking brain is telling them. And the whole generation was fucked. Not their fault, but they were fucked. Doomed from the start. As opposed to kids now who are going to have to pay more in rent than their parents ever did, pay more for a mortgage than their parents ever did, and get less in their pension than their parents did. I'm going to get less in my pension than my parents did. Or even my grandparents, by the way things are going. One Angry Pagan, thank you very much. I miss being able to go to a metal gig on the cheap. Yeah, mate, I miss going to gigs. I miss it so much. I miss going to the cinema every week. But we can't. I'm going to get into this later because I want to talk about Superman a little bit. But we had to do yesterday, the reason why I had to push the time back for the stateside was because me and Kat went to see the new Superman movie. And it's like a 1 hour, 20-minute round drive to the one place in the Northeast that was actually fucking showing it with subtitles. So I'm sorry for being late yesterday, but there is a valid excuse. Paula Thomas, thank you very much for the £10 super chat. I watched Gary Stevenson being interviewed by Andrew Marr earlier. He explained why we need to tackle wealth inequality and why we need to do it. Very worth a watch. Yeah, Gary Stevenson's really good. Gary Stevenson was on the Sunday roast show, last year. It's well worth checking out. Tim Ballon, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. For fuck's sake, we don't all want electric cars to drive to Liverpool for £3. We need cheap public transport. Yes, but at the moment, there's no choice. You either pay for us as a family. If we want to go to Liverpool, it's over £400 return to Liverpool on the train. £400. And I did mention like having minibuses, electric minibuses to take us to Liverpool. That'll do. Even if it's £1 more. Yeah, I like the idea of having public transport that is cheaper than using your car. I mean, everything's got to be taken into account, hasn't it? Because you've got to buy the car, you got to, rent it, whatever, lease it. You've got to pay for your insurance and all that shit. So, it's not really £3. It's just that's what the unit cost was for the fuel to get us there. And I'm making an example, not just of electric cars, but just using electric instead of fossil fuels, using electric motors rather than internal combustion motors, but also having our own energy. The price of solar and the price of wind in this country is set to the price of gas. Set to the price of gas from Qatar. Whatever the price of the gas is coming from Qatar, that's the price that we pay for our electricity coming from the wind turbines off the Durham coast. Makes no fucking sense. No sense at all. Anyway, talking about making no sense at all. Nigel Farage claims that crime has rocketed since the 1990s. Now, crimes against individuals and households has fallen dramatically since the 1990s. There are long-term decreases in violence, theft, and criminal damage. Only short-term increases in specific categories like fraud and theft from a person, which has gone up in the last couple of years. Because what's the biggest driver of criminality? Poverty. The more poverty you have, the more crime you'll have. And Nigel Farage has done more to push poverty in this country than any other human being that I think has ever existed on the scale that it is happening at the moment, merely because our population's never been that big before. As big, I should say. He's claiming that Britain is facing societal collapse. He paints this dystopian picture of like parents being scared to let their kids out or scared to visit the high street. And I'm like, I grew up in the 80s and 90s. I mean, I know parents were a bit more fearless back then because of the lead. But, I mean, seriously, people feel worried, but because of people like Farage stirring the pot, making people feel worried, making people feel like unsafe. But only 22% of people rank crime as a top issue. The NHS and immigration rank far, far higher. This is classic populist moves to exploit anxieties, make people feel like things are worse than ever when overall crime has trended down for decades. We hit a high point in the 1990s when the boomers were in their 30s and 40s and, not all boomers were in their 30s and 40s, I suppose. One in three Londoners has been a victim of phone theft, says Nigel Farage. It's just total nonsense. He's citing a dodgy fintech startup survey that was trying to flog some, device for mobile phones. The actual Met figures show that 80,000 phones stolen. That's too many, obviously, but compare that to the population of London. That's nowhere near 1 in 3. Nowhere even near 1 in 3. What's the population of London? Let's find out, shall we? We'll do it together. It'll be fun. Population of London. Population of London is estimated to be around 8.9 million people. So 80,000. I know these toffs aren't very good at maths because they didn't have to pay attention in school because qualifications weren't important to them because they already had the connections they needed to get ahead in life. So they didn't have to apply themselves, and they never did, and they never will. But 80,000 out of 8.9 million is not 1 in 3. It's nowhere fucking close. The guy is a toxic liar. He is a piece of shit liar. And then he claims that London is lawless and that rich people, I'm doing this fucking lie about rich people fleeing. Yeah. There's this Norwegian billionaire who's leaving the country. His fucking company's set up in Bermuda, right? Bermuda. And he left Norway years ago because it was boring, apparently. Not because, his officers were fucking raided by the police and he was fined, what was it? 2 million kroner, was it? No, not at all. But apparently he's a fucking resident of Cyprus now. He's a Cypriot citizen. And he's leaving because we've closed the non-dom loophole because he doesn't like the idea of having to pay more than £20,000 a year in tax. So he's leaving. Okay, bye. Bye. John Friedrichsen, his name is, and he's not leaving because of crime. He's leaving because of slime, because he is a slimy millionaire bastard who moves foreign slime around the world. And he can see where the things are going, He can see the way that the world is going because there are more billionaires than ever before, and those billionaires are getting richer. The rest of us are getting poorer. And at some point, something's going to give. Something is going to give. And there might be a situation in which the millions of people, because for every billionaire, there's a million people, decide that they don't want those billionaires no more. Or will quite like the money that the billionaires have. That would be great, And if these billionaires continue to back politicians like Farage and Trump and Putin, and they continue to drive down living standards, continue to drive down working rights, continue to drive down our mental health, yeah, there will be a tipping point. I'm pretty sure, and it'll be that of their own making, and I will have no fucking sympathy at all, to be honest with you. Friedrichsen said that it was tax changes brought about by Rachel Reeves that's made him leave, nothing to do with crime. And Farage, like all populists, cherry picks data, mixes it with dodgy polls, pushes the Britain's falling apart, and only I can save everything narrative that populist twats like Farage and Trump love so much. Farage is Trump light. He's the Britain Trump, more than Boris Johnson. In fact, populist fucking scum who does not give a flying fuck about anything or anyone apart from himself and his own fucking bank balance. The reform crime plan. It is a clown show. It's a fucking clown show. Right, here's a crime plan. But before we get into that, George George has just dropped £2 in the Super Chat fund. Yeah, if you don't like paying tax, don't have money. Yeah, I think that about a lot of things. I don't like drugs. I don't think they should be illegal. Because if you don't like drugs, don't take them. If you don't like abortions, don't have an abortion. If you don't like, I don't know, gay people getting married, don't marry a gay person. I don't understand like that whole argument of like, they're taking so much money from me. Fuck off. Back in the 1960s, when things were a bit more sensible and we saw the biggest rise in living standards in history in this country, it was because the rich were taxed at 95%. Now, let me explain. This isn't 95% on top. It isn't 95% from the get-go, right? So if a rich person earns 100 million, they weren't getting taxed 95 million, okay? It was above a certain threshold. So once they hit that threshold, the 95%, or it was an escalator, so it went up to 95%, that was the absolute max, it would start kicking in. So what happened a lot in the 1960s and 70s is that, until Thatcher came along and fucked it all, is that people would get to a certain amount of wealth and it wasn't worth them hoarding that wealth like Smaug. It was better for them to spend the wealth and then they wouldn't be taxed on it. So their wealth didn't trickle down, it fucking burst forth like a fucked water main. And it went into our society. And it raised the living standards of everybody. Because they weren't hoarding their money. Now, billionaires hoard their fucking money because they know they're not going to be taxed on that money. No one's going to take it from them. We have a mad situation where capital gains tax is lower than income tax. So you work with your hands, you punch rocks for a living, and you're there for 16 hours a day punching a rock, and you will be charged more for the crime of doing that job than for someone who spent the whole fucking day in their pajamas playing fucking Mario Kart World on their Switch 2. But they've got money in investments and they've made more money than the guy punching rocks. And they get taxed less. And then when the fucking mealy-mouthed gobshites at Refork and Tories go, oh, well, why are we being taxed twice? Why are we being taxed twice? You're not being taxed twice, you twat. You're paying the right amount of tax on your fucking earnings. It's earnings above what you had. You had this much, now you've got this much. We're going to take a little bit of that because it's your earnings. You get all this money in fucking inheritance tax. Yeah, you're going to pay fucking tax. Oh, it's already been taxed. I tell you what, go and buy something. Go and buy a CD in a shop. Go on, find yourself the last remaining HMV. Buy yourself a CD. What do you have to pay on that? Oh, VAT. All right, so there you go, yeah. So you pay tax on getting your earnings in, and then you have to pay VAT, right? That's being taxed twice, you twats. The rest of us have to be taxed twice. What the fuck are you talking about? You're going to tax us twice? It's so not fair. Fucking the rich, man. They're the fucking worst. They're absolutely... And you know that all the fucking rich people that you've ever met have been tight. They've been fucking tight. I mean, so fucking tight. They could swallow a fucking lump of coal and shit out of diamonds. That's how fucking tight they are. That's how they got so fucking rich. Who's not tight are the people watching this, because you're all very generous, including one angry pagan who's just dropped £5 into the super chat fund. Thank you very much. By talking about societal collapse, Farage et al. Want to make it a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's vital that we continue to fight them. Yes, it is absolutely vital. Farage is just the fucking worst. Farage is going to spend wants to spend 3.48 billion a year on prisons and police officers. He wants to spend 250 million a year renting foreign prison space in El Salvador. He wants to spend 80 million a year for 100 pop-up custody centres in crime hotspots. Holy fuck. Renting prison cells in El Salvador, a country famous for human rights abuses. The only way, and overcrowding. Even Farage kind of backtracked on this when he was asked, but the only way that we could do that is if we leave the European Court of Human Rights or the Convention of Human Rights. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to take us out so the billionaires can just piss on us even fucking harder. And these stupid, mealy-mouthed, usually elderly, not all boomers, but usually elderly, refuck voters who were lying on the ground with their mouth open, Nigel, please piss on me, Nigel, get it in my face. It's so pathetic. It's so craven. Do these people not have an ounce of self-respect? Do they not see what we see when we look at them, when they're like, oh yeah, I think Nigel Farage talks a lot of sense, actually. As soon as someone says that to me, I've got no respect for them whatsoever. I just think, you fucking arsehole. Like, how could he be so thick? Were you born like this, or were you kicked in the head by a fucking horse? Nigel, oh, please piss on me, Nigel. Oh, I just want to be a vassal state for the billionaires. They can do what they want with me. And my children, and my grandchildren. Yeah, fuck them. I mean, you're looking. The VFuck voters are the most selfish people you will ever fucking meet. The most selfish fucking, self-loathing people you will ever fucking meet. They at once are so arrogant that they believe that they have the fucking answer, and it's Nigel Farage. On top of that, they have the self-loathing to go, yeah, I just want the fucking upper classes to take a big shit on me from a great fucking height. I want to have a picnic, right? I want them to climb from in the tree, and I want them to shit on me picnic. That'll be fucking great. And the people at the picnic, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about their grandchildren. They could give a shit. Oh, fucking ungrateful little shits, you know. I had to work. You had to work. Work in the 1960s. Oh, fuck off. Unless you worked down a fucking mine, right? You worked in an office. You worked in a bank in the 1960s. Spent half the time on the RAS. Spent half the time getting drunk. You went in at 9 o'clock. You had a fucking 2-hour lunch break in which you went to the pub and got fucking sloshed. You came back to the office for a few hours in the afternoon. Did fuck all. Just played with fucking paper clips. You Newton's Cradle. Did they have them in the... That's more of an 80s thing, isn't it? You drove home drunk. And your wife had made all your fucking food for you. She put your feet up. You don't have to do anything. She'll do all the washing, all the cleaning, look after the kids. You can survive on one fucking household income. One. You can buy a house with a driveway, buy a car. Because we taxed the billionaires back then. Or the equivalent of billionaires. We taxed the rich, and they did very well out of it. And now they're all old, crusty motherfuckers who are like, yeah, I had to work hard. No, you fucking didn't. Don't fucking lie. If you worked in an office, you didn't work hard. Did some manual labour, yeah, okay, I'll give it to you. You know, that is hard labour. But I mean, a lot of them fucking died, didn't they? Because it was fucking dangerous getting that filthy fucking coal out of the filthy fucking coal mines. You know, dying in a flood, dying of fucking gas leaks where, you know, carbon monoxide fucking comes out, and by the time the budgie's dead, it's too fucking late, innit? Can't get out fast enough. The people in their 40s around here in the pit villages dying before they reach my age of fucking black lung, hacking up darkness from their lungs. Yeah, that's fucking working. I'll give you that. These fuckers with their gold-plated pensions the likes of which my generation can never dream of having. And yes, while 1 in 4 pensioners are millionaires, 1 in 4 pensioners are living in poverty. So I'm not directing this towards all pensioners, but the ones who are fucking rich and are holding on to that wealth, 95% of our wealth is held by baby boomers. 95% of the wealth of this country is held by one generational cohort. And when you're putting this out, all you get is, stop being so ageist. Not all boomers. I've even got a little thing that comes up to say not all boomers before Anne says it. She's probably said it about 9 times already. Yeah. Rich boomers. Can I just say rich boomers who vote for refuck, who voted for Brexit, who voted to derail my career when they're fucking retired, you know? And I just, the sort of stuff that Farage is coming out with is going to cost the workers loads of money. These people who are retired on these gold-plated pensions, final salary pensions, they're earning £50,000 a year. Some of these motherfuckers, they haven't worked for 30 years and they're earning £50,000 a year from their fucking pension. And don't think for a moment that's a nest egg and they're just living off the fucking, you know, the interest on. No, they're not. No, they are not. They're living off the work that we're putting in now. They're living off the fact that we're having to pay so much for our water and our lecky and our public transport, so those privatized companies can invest in pension stock or whatever it is. We're helping subsidize their ridiculously lavish lifestyle where they buy a new car every 6 months and go on fucking 17 fucking cruises a year. And we're sitting there going, hang on, we're doing all the work and we're getting fuck all. We got no pension. We got no house. We got no nest egg. We got fuck all. And they're sitting there going, oh, the young, they don't even want to work. Fuck off. Fuck off. Anyway, so yeah. Rich. V-fuck voting pensioners. Very important to stress, not all pensioners. Just the vast majority of them, that's all. So yeah, hiring physically tougher police officers. This is what he said. He thinks that police officers are too weak, and he wants to hire physically tougher police officers. What does that even mean? Gym memberships, fewer women to be police officers. What the fuck does he want? Like councils being forced to host prisons. Where's the democratic accountability? Everyone's going to be like, not in my backyard. And what Farage is going to do, he's going to put the prisons in the places and don't fucking vote for him. This is like reverse pork barrel politics. This is like vindictive outsourcing of shite to places that aren't going to vote for him. Who benefits? Who the fuck benefits from this? It's not going to be society. Crime's down. Crime is down. The problem that we have with the courts at the moment is separate to all this, Private prison contractors and security companies. Group 4 security. The likes of that lot, Blackwater. They're gonna do really well out of it. El Salvador's authoritarian fucking president, who gets paid to warehouse UK prisoners, British citizens. Could be you. Could be you. You could be caught for a crime that you committed, or even one that you didn't. And under Farage's fucking madness, he wants to send you to El Salvador. Have you been to El Salvador? No, I have. I've been a couple of times actually. Didn't die, which was good. Police were quite nice actually. They picked me up because they saw that I was having to walk from the bus station to the other bus station because they have multiple bus stations in the capital, San Salvador, and I had to walk from one to the other. And in the middle of the night, and police just pulled up a light on me. So, don't be walking on your own with your backpack, camcorder, laptop, British passport. Yeah, they came over and said, "Where are you going?" I said, "Oh, I'm going to the bus station." I said it in Spanish at the time as well. My Spanish was much better back then. And they said, "Oh, get in. We'll take you there. Because at the time, El Salvador was the murder capital of the world. Murder capital of the world. Let's send British citizens to the murder capital of the world that is run by an authoritarian fucking gobshite. In a jail where you may well be tortured to death." Yeah, great, cool. By the way, it's not the murder capital of the world anymore because all the murderers have been put in jail and they murder each other in jail, and that doesn't count somehow. It's a way to get the crime figures down, isn't it? Hey, murderers, can you do all your murdering in this box? And then we won't call it murder. Okay. Gillian, if they raise pension age to 70 plus, then surely there will be more manual workers on benefits, such as PIP and from 60 is craziness. Yeah, but the thing is, Gillian, that when the pension age was brought in at 65, it was because the average age of life expectancy was 70. So they didn't expect to be paying it out for more than like 5, 6, 7 years. Nowadays, people are living much longer, clearly. And like, do you remember when it was a problem there were so many people? Here's the thing, right? Can someone explain this to me, right? So, back in the day, right, there was a problem that apparently just 10 years ago, I distinctly remember people complaining that there were too many people. We'd hit 8 billion people on the planet, or we were about to. And people were like, oh, there's too many people. We need to bring down the population figures. And so people are like, okay. And they don't have kids. And then like, no, not like that. Like, what? Once you develop countries, once you give women the vote, once you give women autonomy, once you allow women to work, you don't just benefit your economy massively because half the work, you double your workforce. But also, like people have fewer children. They have fewer children. The population explosions of the 20th century just kind of peter out. Because people are like, well, I've got my career to think about. Might have 1 kid or 2, or maybe none. And that's fine. But yeah, the shit that we're getting now, childless woman of childbearing age. Like, so fucking what? You don't want to have kids. You shouldn't be forced to fucking have kids. Although that's the plan in America, isn't it? Even if you're fucking dead, you're forced to have kids in America, which is the blueprint for Farage. Like, if we want to attack Nigel Farage and his current fucking host, the tapeworm that is Nigel Farage, the parasitic tapeworm, his new body. He's like Krang, in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's like the brain inside a robot. The robot is the robot body is the Refuck Party, the Brexit Party, UKIP, the National Front, whatever the fuck he calls himself these days. And he's like the little brain inside, the little squishy creature going, Shredder, take me to the Technodrome. Horrible little man. And I fucking hate his face. His face looks like I can't say. I got demonetized. Looks like a weathered old fucking bag. Do you know what I mean? He looks like he's fallen out the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down and then been battered to death with the fucking branches that fell off. I mean, he's just such a fucking minger. I hate his fucking face. I hate the way he talks. I hate his voice. I hate everything. I hate the way he laughs. I hate his fucking teeth that look like a fucking piano that's falling down the fucking stairs. I fucking hate him. When he gets his big beautiful day, I am going to have a fucking party. You're all invited. You're all invited to my fucking party when that happens, because I can't fucking wait. Bring on the big beautiful days. The head. The rich boomers, those rich boomers are a small percentage of boomers, says Philip. Not even close to a lot. Okay. How many UK boomers are millionaires? Approximately 1 in 5. Oh, sorry. It's 1 in 5, not 1 in 4. I said 1 in 4, didn't I? It's 1 in 5. Sorry. 20%. 20% of boomers in the UK are millionaires. Wow. Well, that was actually in 2019. And I think that it's gone up more than that now, because that was 6 years ago. But yeah. Millionaires. The average age of a millionaire is 61. And yeah, they are. I'm not saying they're hoarding the money, but it is. It's 1 in 5 people over the age of 65 are now, so 20% are now millionaires, right? Compared with 7% in 2006. So in just 13 years, from 2006 to 2019, it went from 7% to 20%. Come on. And it's probably about 25% now. That is just insane. The older generation now accounts for half the combined net worth in the US. And in the UK, they hold 78% of the UK's private housing wealth. 78% in one cohort. I think a generation's 15, 16 years, is it? Like that one cohort is just gobbling up all of the funds and keeping it for themselves selfishly. And it's very easy to go, well, not all men are rapists. Yeah, but if we keep saying that, we're not going to do anything about the problem that so many men are rapists and get away with it. And I'll say the same for, property and wealth and stuff like that. Not all boomers are problematic, but it's not very helpful to just go, not all boomers, whenever it's mentioned the fact that, boomers are hoarding the wealth of the nation. And now young people can't get on the housing ladder. They're having to rent, and rents have gone up in the last couple of years by 200, 300 quid. A month! A month! Not a year! A month! I mean, just fucking crazy. Joanna, I have a message waiting for me on my PayPal. Is it a nice message? Is it a nice message, Joanna? Or is it a mean message? Check out Gary's Economics for deep diving this shit. Small number of super rich boomers and their kids. 20% is not a small number, mate. Come on. 20% is not a small... You're talking millions of people. That is never going to be a small number. We do. I'm trying to see if I can see if I've got a notification. I just, do you know what? The problem is you turn off the notifications and then you just don't learn, do you? Here we go. Joanna Hammond, thank you very, very much. £20 super chat. Thank you. Oh, why not? Oh, why not? Smiley face. Thank you so much, Joanna. That's very kind of you. Thanks for throwing that in there. Pete's music. Not all boomers. Should we do it? Should we do it? Should we do the not all boomers? Should we do it? Not all boomers are millionaires. Just 20%, 25% of them now. Just 25% of them. You know, it's only 1 in 4. I mean, is that even a statistically significant number? I don't know. Wow. So it looks like we're heading towards a situation where there's going to be more people who are millionaires who are over the age of 65 than there are millionaires under the age of 65. Do you not think that's a bit mad? I mean, obviously you got wealth accumulation during your lifetime, which is understandable, but can't take it with you. You can't take it with you. You can't take it with you. Maybe I should start a not all boomers tax. If you want to say not all boomers, you have to pay. There you go. To prove that not all boomers are selfish rich people who hoard their money like Smaug. Okay, I'm joking. You don't know. Anyway, let's talk about Nigel Farage's. Nigel Farage's fucking self-fulfilling crisis, you know. The idea that populists, you know, they thrive on the fear of crime, and then people vote reform, and then crime happens more. So Nigel Farage was sitting there, you know, defending the criminals who went out and tried to burn down a hotel with asylum seekers in, had women and children in the hotel. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. I wouldn't put them in jail. He was there with the because he's privately educated, and he was there with the privately educated, what's her name, Pooley or something, the woman who's now the MP for Runcorn and Helsby. She puts the hell in Helsby, and she's sitting there going, yeah, well, you know, that wasn't really good. There's people in jail now for sending tweets, no, for inciting violent mobs. Okay, that's what she's been done for, not for sending a fucking tweet, you daft twat. I mean, like, there is no law that puts you in jail for 4 years for just sending an innocuous tweet. There's a law that says you can't, you know, try and summon up a riot on Twitter or any platform for that matter. Oh, I mean, why are they putting this guy, you know, Hitler? Why are they taking him to task? He just said things. He didn't actually kill anyone himself. You go put people in jail for saying things now. Fucking stupid fucking argument that is. But yeah, the defending the guy who's left refucked now, who he's had his whip suspended, but he's still an MP, who went to jail for battering his partner. Like, for actually physically assaulting his partner. Went to fucking jail for it. Is he going to get deported to El Salvador? No, he's going to get welcomed into fucking UKIP with open arms, UKIP, VFUC, whatever the fuck it's called these days. And, you know, like, he said he's got to scrap HS2. Hello, dickhead. HS2's already massively scaled back. The money that's been put in has already been put in. You may as well finish it now. But what, does he just want to leave it? Does he just want to leave all these tunnels abandoned? I mean, it's a sunk cost, but it's, you know, it is still, we've spent enough money on it now for that leg between London and Birmingham. We need to finish it off. Otherwise, all that money will be for nothing. At least when it's finished, we can recoup a little bit of the costs back over the years, over time. But, you know, it won't magically free up 70 billion. That's already been put in. Fucking dickhead. It just leaves Britain with half-finished railways and wasted billions that you're never going to make any recoup on at all. And, like, he wants to scrap net zero. Who the fuck wants this? Except oil barons and people who have lead in their brain. You know, oil billionaires, Putin, who profits from Europe's gas addiction, and Trump's fossil fuel cronies. Net zero creates jobs, investment, and energy security. Farage wants Britain locked into fossil fuel dependency while the rest of the world moves on. Like, the Chinese are like miles ahead now with renewable energy, because they're like, oh, hang on, we can make our own electricity, yeah? And it's a lot cheaper. We can make our own energy, yeah? And it's a lot cheaper, yeah. We don't have to be beholden to some fucking foreign dictator and whether he wants to invade his neighbour from one day to the next. Oh, why is this foreign slime that we're putting in my car, why is it gone up by 50 pence a litre? Oh, it's because this foreign dictator in some other country decided to invade his democratic neighbour. Filling up your car here, you know. What the fuck's that got to do with me? Why am I now paying 50p more a litre for this fucking foreign slime to get the energy to go, you know, go and see me mum? How about we have a system that is uncoupled from fossil fuels in so many ways? We'd have even cheaper energy. Imagine that. Imagine being able to fucking heat your house for buttons. Be able to fuel your car, charge it up with energy for fuck all. How about that? Wouldn't that be fucking brilliant? But Farage doesn't want that. Farage wants us all to be poor. He wants us all to just be on the fucking line. You know, if anything goes wrong in our lives, if we have a car crash, if our boiler blows up or something, he wants that to be it. You know, we're out in the fucking street. And the sad thing is that the people who support this motherfucker are like, oh, you know, one day if I work hard, I'll be just like that. No. He was born into money, dickheads. Were you born into money? No. Okay, right. Well, sit the fuck down because you have more in common with that poor bastard living on the streets, right? Huffing the fucking petrol, right? You have got more in common with them and you're more likely to end up like that than you ever are likely to end up like Nigel fucking Farage with a Coots bank account. You're not getting a Coots bank account. You can't live and work anywhere in Europe. He fucking can. He's got the money. Net zero creates jobs. Sustainable, long-term jobs. The oil will run out eventually. Those jobs are not sustainable. If you are an engineer, I don't know about you, right? But if I was a fucking engineer, right, and I had the choice whether to work on clean renewable energy and make it work, you know, I'd much rather do that than ever go set foot on a fucking oil rig in the North Sea in the middle of a fucking storm. Fuck that shit. No one, no human should have to go through the shit those poor bastards have to go through working on those fucking oil rigs, which are fucking dangerous as fuck. It's a slimy, fucking dirty, disgusting, life-shortening job. Thankless fucking job. Or the poor bastard coal miners in Chile and Argentina having to go down into the ground and fucking dig out fucking dirty rocks, filthy fucking rocks, filthy rocks that are filthy all the way through. Like, you can't clean a bit of coal, can you? You know, it's not like a normal rock. You can get the shit off it. Do you know what I mean? Give it a rinse. You can't do that with coal. So it's funny when they use the term clean coal. Like, fuck that shit. Why are we getting gas from Qatar thousands of miles away, bringing it round, you know, past the Houthis with the fucking rocket launchers, sitting there in Yemen, watching these gas fucking containers go past. They fire a rocket at one of them. Oh my god. I think it's going to be, if one of them goes up, which might well happen the way things are going, if we continue to buy our fucking gas from fucking Qatar and those boats still have to keep going past Yemen, within rocket firing distance of Yemen, there is, I guarantee it, in the next few years, there is going to be a disaster that will make your fucking hair stand on end. And then they've got to get through the Suez Canal. What if someone decides to, I don't know, fucking get stuck in the Suez Canal? Like that fucking boat did the other year. What if that happens? We don't get any energy? You know? Do all our fucking, do the incubators with the babies in, do they turn off? Do we freeze to death? Because someone's blocked the fucking Suez Canal? Because we don't want our own great British energy. We want to be dependent on foreign slime for the rest of fucking time. Oh, please, cover me in the foreign slime. Nigel, oh, it's all for you, Nigel. Look at me, Nigel. Fucking hell. These refuck voters, I want to shake them. I want to fucking shake them and just go, wake the fuck up. Because I don't know if they're zombies or they're not politically engaged, or I don't know, they just love the taste of oil sloshing around in their mouths. I don't fucking know. Oh, God, we need to be dependent on foreign slime. Come on. We're going to use the words foreign slime, okay, instead of oil. Right? We're going to use the words foreign slime. I want you to sit down and explain to me why you want me and future generations to be dependent for their energy needs on foreign slime rather than great, clean British energy. And then once they explain that, just ask them, why do you hate this country so much? Why do you hate this country? Isn't energy sovereignty important to you in any way? QA Library, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. FT, China sold US bonds to Japan / UK only to have more. Only have more. Look, US bonds. I mean, this debt thing is mad, isn't it? Like, they talk about the is it not the deficit? That's slightly different, but the amount of debt we're in. We're drowning in debt, but we all owe it to like other countries. It's really weird. It's just a really weird system. Everyone's drowning in debt. Tim Ballum, £5 super chat. Look at the passenger figures on reopened railways. Always massively beat the predicted passenger numbers. HS2 will be packed. Yeah, I don't deny it. I do not deny it. George, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. And Farage talks about foreign interference in our election. Yeah. Foreign interference in what? I mean, he loves foreign interference, doesn't he, in our elections? In our elections, he's like, yeah, I'm all for that. But yeah, scrapping net zero, locking us into fossil fuels while the rest of the world moves on, fuck off. And then he used this law and order bullshit as a Trojan horse for his real agenda, which is killing climate action and green investment. It's the same false dilemma they used last week here in Durham at the council meeting where they went, we can either have net zero, which actually makes us money, or we can look after children. You can't do both. And now Farage is saying, oh, well, we can either have law and order or we can have net zero. We can't have both. Fucking scumbag. Destroying my country. Destroying the future of this fucking country to line his own fucking bank balance. What a slimy, seedy, right-wing, fascist gobshite. There's not enough bad things that can happen to that man. You know, there's not enough bad things that can happen. I fucking hate him with every cell in my body. And if people want to fucking vote for him, I'm going to fucking hate them too. For propping up this rich, arrogant, motherfucking fascist, Nazi cunt. Oh shit, I just dropped the C-bomb. It's fair then. It's fair. It's fair. He is vile. He is just the fucking worst. The worst human being this country has ever produced. He is on a par with Oswald fucking Mosley, another toff, from the neo-aristocracy, lording it over the working classes, saying, oh, well, come with me, perhaps, young man, we're going to make you all rich. by taking rights away from Jews. We'll make you all rich. Do you know what makes people fucking rich? Taxing the millionaires. That's what makes us all fucking rich. That makes us all better off. This is classic. This is what Farage is doing. Classic authoritarian tactic. Step 1, claim society is collapsing. Step 2, only I can save the world. Only I can do it. Only I can fix it. Say only you can restore order. You're the only person who can do it. Undermine trust in stats, in experts, in institutions. And then step 4, offer authoritarian solutions, which always revolve around tougher cops, more prisons, fewer rights for me and you. Because we've got to give up our rights, or the crime figures that are going down, they're just going to continue going down, I guess. Hey, imagine a world in which we all have to commit crimes just to stay alive, because that's the world that Farage has built. So him and his mates can hold all their fucking wealth, and the rest of us have nothing. I've spoken many times on this show about how fucked austerity is. Austerity is a fucked idea because it means there are fewer people with money to spend on shit. There's fewer people with money to spend on shit. That means there's fewer people who are available to go into your restaurant or into your cafe or to your gig or to go and see your movie. Because because people can only watch one movie a night in the cinema, realistically. So, and they pay the same. I mean, maybe in a restaurant, a millionaire will spend more money, but there's only one millionaire in your restaurant. They're not going to eat there every fucking night. And even if they do, it's only one meal. It's only one meal. Rather than, I don't know, a few hundred if you can fill your restaurant. Do you see the problem? We need more people to have disposable income. That is it. Because that's the way society goes. Because if you don't have people with disposable income, you can't pay for the people working in the cinema. You can't pay for the roadies at the gig. You can't pay for the people working in the restaurant, the waitresses, the chefs, the waiters. Sorry, I sound a bit sexist there. Yes, it's the women who go and the waiters, the wait staff. Hospitality. Now, people can't afford to go on holiday. All these places, all these companies that make money through people going on holiday are just going to fucking fall into the sea. If people have no money, they stay in. And they'll rob stuff, especially if they really fucking need it. If I was working as a security guard in a supermarket or Poundland or some Pound Stretcher, and I saw someone robbing some nappies, I'd just fucking let them. I'd just see them go out the door and be like, what the fuck, who cares? You know, nappies, people robbing nappies. That's terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying. Although, top tip, if you ever want to laugh, right, and you're in the supermarket, what you want to do is if you're buying a load of beer, it always works best with beer, so get 2 slabs of beer, right, 24 packs, right, and as you walk and put it into your shopping trolley, and then go over to the nappies bit, right, and get some nappies and put that on top, right, and then go to the checkout, right. Make sure you don't do the self checkout because it won't work. And then put the nappies on, put the beer on and the beer, and then let it go through, and it'll come to like, I don't know, 30 quid or something. And you go, oh shit, I'm a bit short. Can I put the nappies back? It's worth it just for the look on the face. Once I was in Australia, and I was buying a load of cleaning products. I was just buying like loads of cleaning products, like bleach. I was buying disinfectant, detergent, whatever, scourers, and a bucket. And they're very chatty in Australia. They're chatty up here as well when you go for the checkout. But yeah, they're very particularly chatty in Australia. You say, "How's it going? How's it going?" And you say, "Oh yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good." But you know what it's like when you wake up and there's a dead prostitute in your bathtub, and he just looked at me like, I'm joking. Where you just turn up and buy like 1 bottle of wine and a pack of condoms. You can't even afford to do jokes at the supermarket's expense anymore, can you? Because like a bottle of wine probably costs about a fucking tenner. Thank you very much. Talking of tenors, Colin has dropped in a emergency demonetization fund. Thank you very much for the £10 super chat. Capitan, what's Capitan doing? Trying to find Captain's Capitan. What have you said? The clip's reform spread, says Tip Trip Trip. The celebrity support and non-challenging journalists need to be countered. We can think of lists of methods. Yeah, we absolutely do. I'm going to start doing a Refuck Watch on this channel. I kind of want to do it with somebody else. I don't want it just to be me on my own doing Refuck Watch. So watch this space, but I'll be starting that in a couple of weeks' time. Most retail theft isn't for people who need food, it's for drugs, says Tim Ballum. Yeah, I'm talking about someone robs some nappies. I don't think they're going to be selling nappies for drugs. I mean, that's kind of fucked, isn't it? But maybe. For the defund, thank you very much to George there. So thanks to Tim and George and Colin there helping me out after I dropped the C-bomb involuntarily. He made me do it. Nigel made me do it. So yeah, Trump parallels in all this, right? So in 2016, now Trump was talking about American carnage, and now Trump is talking about societal collapse. Both ignore the real long-term data showing crime is falling because fear is more powerful than facts. And there's Putin parallels here. Putin used terrorism and crime as excuses to centralize power to the presidency in the 2000s. And they're using the same formula, destable trust, present yourself as the only savior. I alone can fix it. And then you've got the hypocrisy here. Farage defended the refuck MP, James Murdoch, convicted for repeatedly kicking his girlfriend, said he was rehabilitated. Yeah. And he's quit the party on another matter about, bounce back loans. And so Refuck wants to deport foreign criminals, but happily elects domestic ones. Funny that, isn't it? But they did say they wanted to put British criminals in El Salvadorian jails. That's what they want. They want to rent out space in El Salvador, and you could go to jail in El Salvador. I could go to jail in El Salvador if Farage fucking wins. Can we explain this to our family members who vote for Refuck? Can you just get in touch with them and say, listen, I might commit a crime in my life. I don't know what the way things will go, but I might be accused of committing a crime. I might be accused, and I'm more likely than most because I do a show. I don't know, we're not a huge audience here, we're nowhere near Midas Touch or anything like that, or even Max and Phil have massive followings. But at the same time, I've got thousands of hours, literally thousands of hours of me online slagging off Nigel Farage. What do you think is going to happen if he becomes Prime Minister? For the love of God. Anyone who knows me, if they want me to be deported to El Salvador to be potentially tortured and gang raped and beaten to death, then, I really think that person is a fucking scumbag and I don't want them anywhere near me. I don't want that person anywhere near me in my life, that they believe because of my political opinions that should be the justifiable punishment for the fact that I hate these disgusting millionaire, Coots bank account, privately educated, city banker, performance fucking fascist gobshites like Nigel Farage. I hate them. Yeah, I fucking do. Because I blame them for all the ills of society. And the refuck voters, I'm going to ask them around here, you think that is a justifiable thing to happen to me? And do you know what they'll say out their stupid, mealy-mouthed fucking faces? They'll go, oh no, but it won't happen to you. How do you know? How do you fucking know, you stupid twat? Hitler didn't just go after the Jews. He went after socialists. He went after communists. He murdered them. Not personally, of course. He got his minions to do it. But talk to people that you know that have fucking fallen for this shit and say, listen, dickhead, if he gets in charge, I'm fucked. And if you want me to be fucked, I'm sorry, but this relationship, this friendship is over. I am not talking to you again. Make the decision now, right now. I want you to tell me you can either choose Nigel Farage or you can choose me. Your friend, your cousin, your nephew, your niece, whoever you are, to them. You can choose Nigel or me. That is your option right now. And if they choose Nigel Farage, I mean, depending on who they are, you might be justified in, I don't know, getting into trouble. One Angry Pagan, thank you very much for the £20 super chat. That is marvellous. Thank you. In sequestering CO2 from the atmosphere, we can't just plant trees. British Ecological Society's Nature-Based Solutions Report 2022 states that a tailored approach is best depending on environment, e.g. heath and peatland, less trees. Well, it depends where we're talking about in the country, one angry pagan. Yes, peatland needs to be preserved because it is a great lock-in of CO2. But depending where it is in the country, I would like to see more trees because that it's not peatland, It's simple as that. For every car that is manufactured, let's fucking plant some trees. That's the rule. Every car, plant a tree. Put your fucking name on it. It has your little name on it, so you can go visit your tree that you got when you bought your car. I want my country back from Farage, says Captain. Yeah, me too. Nightingale prisons. Yeah. And don't forget, they want to decide who's a criminal as well, because they don't think that James Murdoch is a criminal. You know, he's been rehabilitated. He's all right. Because he only kicked a woman so hard that he ended up going to fucking jail for it. You can imagine Fiona Bruce now, also privately educated, sitting there going, well, you know, it only happened once. You know, that murder, it only happened once. Was it really a killing? Fucking. They said sorry. And here's the thing, right? Push the real data. Crime has fallen since the 90s. Fraud and online scams are the real growth areas. But Nigel Farage is a fraudster. He is a fraudulent politician. He promises the fucking world and he does not deliver. He did not turn up to meetings of the Fisheries Commission in the EU when he was head. He was the British representative on the Fisheries Commission. And he never fucking turned up. He turned up for one meeting out of like 40. He's a fraud. He sells online scams. He sells fucking gold. He's a shill for the filthy foreign slime companies that want you dependent on filthy foreign slime for the rest of your life. Like some kind of fucking Baron Harkonnen motherfucker. You're bathing in the slime. And then, you know, there's not machete gangs in every town. There just isn't. And the real solutions are making people richer. Like, not even rich, just giving us enough money to have a bit of disposable income. The more rich an area gets, the more the crime goes down. And when you talk about community policing, you should know your local bobbies. You know, you should know them. They should like call around. You should see them going past like fucking mad Jehovah's Witnesses, but dressed in black with a tit on their head. That's what you should see and go, oh, all right, John, all right, Sandra. You know, as they go past, all right, you know your bobbies, you know your people. You've got their numbers. Yeah, there's something fucking worrying you. Instead of waiting for fucking 7 hours on 111 to report the kids going through the village on the scrambler bikes, you can just text them and say, mate, there's some kids going through the village on scrambler bikes. You tell them to fuck off. Why isn't that a thing? Why isn't that a thing? It used to be. And it could be even more practical now, because if you had the number of your local bobby, your local community officer, wouldn't that be brilliant? You know, I've got the number for my MP. I can text my MP if I want. I don't do it very often, but when I do, you know, she gets back to me. You know, thanks for texting, thanks for getting in touch. You know, we need to tackle poverty and inequality. They're the things that, you know, if we tackle them, that would actually reduce crime. Not threatening people with going to El Salvador. That's more likely to make me commit a crime out of fucking panic. That if this motherfucker gets in, he's going to send me to El Salvador. So I might commit a crime out of self-preservation because I don't want to be raped to death in a fucking prison in fucking El Salvador. Did you think of that, Nigel? You stupid twat. And yeah, just, you know, we need long-term investment in housing, in jobs, in education, in youth centres. Not gimmicky fucking pop-up prisons. Are you fucking insane? How are they going to be secure, dickhead? No, we just you know, put people in tents. Fuck off. I mean, in America, you can shoot people who are trying to escape. You can't do that here. We don't do that. Did you know it's not against the law to try and escape from jail? Apparently, it's not. You know, they can add time on your prison sentence, but you can't be trialed again. You can't be put in the dock for like trying to escape jail. Apparently, I don't think of it as isn't there like a crime of? Isn't there not a crime of resisting arrest? And yeah, I need Gareth T to chime in on this. Is it against the law to try and break out of jail? Is there a specific law against that? Or do you just not get early parole? Someone tell me. And then, you know, you've got Farage making people feel unsafe, so they'll vote for him. And his party's got no coherent plan beyond enriching private contractors and pleasing oil oligarchs. One Angry Pagan, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Never said we shouldn't plant trees, lol. It's just that we need to pay attention as to where and, in addition, which space is a tailored approach. Yeah, absolutely. No, it just said, what your previous super chat, and thanks very much for the super chat. I misread it because it said, e.g., Heath and Peatland, less, and then you did a tree emoji. So it was like, it just looked like saying less trees. That's why I misinterpreted it. Sorry. But yeah, a tailored solution. Yeah, that's what we need. And it needs to be driven by science, by good science. I've seen places where they've tried to plant trees in a place where trees aren't going to fucking grow, and they've been planted too shallow, and of the 1,000 trees they fucking planted, only like one took fucking root because they were just planted in a bullshit fucking way at the wrong time of year. There's a time of year for planting trees, and these were like planted in fucking autumn or something. So they expected to like make it through the winter somehow. Just absolutely nuts. The bigger picture here is Farage isn't running a crime campaign. He's running a fear campaign. And this is about softening the public up for cutting climate policies, for killing green jobs, for keeping Britain stuck in an authoritarian loop like Hungary, which is what he wants to create. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for the law and order scam. Look at the data. Look who profits. But the good thing that's got to come of this is he said, out of his disgusted, melted welly of a face, he said that he wanted to deport UK citizens to El Salvador. That's his plan. He backtracked that because once he said it, he went, oh, I'm getting into a bit of trouble for saying this. That's what he fucking said. And when people tell you who they are, believe them the first time. So when you talk to your fuckers in your life and they go, I think Nigel's got a point actually, say, why do you want me to be taken to fucking El Salvador to be raped to death? Do you think, what have I done to deserve that? Get them to answer that question and give them the ultimatum. It's Nigel Farage, who you don't know, who wouldn't piss on you if you're on fire, whose only obsession in life is getting a bank account at a fancy fucking bank. Or me. Nigel Farage or me. Say it to them. Give them the ultimatum. And if they say Nigel Farage, fuck that motherfucker out of your life forever. They don't deserve you. They do not deserve you in their life. They do not deserve someone as erudite and as smart and as capable as you in their life. And you know what? When they fall on fucking hard times and they know that of their selfish, twatty, refuck voting mates, no one's going to give them a fucking dime. They might come crawling back to you, but by then it's too late, innit? We're at war. We are at war right now. Reform are surging in the polls. There's a good chance they'll win their next election the way things are going. Because we have a daft fucking first past the post system where you only need 30% of the seats to actually win. We need to start thinking on a war footing. Because if not, Nigel Farage is going to be Prime Minister of this country. And if that happens, all bets are off. I'm sorry that we have to keep fighting. I'd rather just relax into my middle age. I don't know, maybe have a crisis or something. Oh no, it's just been a life of fucking rolling crises since September the 11th, 2001. Oh, man. Tim, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Down in the Shire, we have named local officer, have her mobile number and email address. It's brilliant. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. And we can do that in cities as well. We can do that in suburbs. You know, you can have someone who's the police officer for that suburb. Here in Durham, we have loads of villages which are fairly close to each other. We don't need to have a bobby each, but to have, you know, someone across, say, 5 or 7 villages, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. And their job is just to check on people, you know, knock on the doors of older people who might be living on their own, make sure they're all right, you know, can get you anything, are you okay? And bring communities together. You know, if I had a knock on the door from a community officer and they said that the old lady, you know, Marjorie or whatever her name is, you know, lives at number 8 on your road. She's getting a delivery today, but she might have trouble, you know, getting to the door or whatever. Would you mind, you know, helping out? Of course, I'll say yeah. You know, if it wasn't away, if it wasn't out, you know, I'll say yeah, fucking yeah, sure, you know. And starting that because people want to be helpful. People do want to be helpful. If you ask someone a favour, people generally, 99% of people go, all right. Especially if it's for a neighbour or someone. And bringing that community together is something that a community officer could do. And also that help end the fear of police. Like, I'm scared of the Met Police. I remember coming out the pulp gig in Hyde Park, Finsbury Park, a couple of years ago. I was walking down the street and they had all these police officers. And it was around the time of Sarah Everard being, she had been murdered, and there'd been this vigil for Sarah. She'd been murdered by a Met Police officer. And then our friend Patsy Stevenson was arrested. She was pinned down by 3 police officers down on the ground for being at this vigil that the fucking Princess of Wales had been at like a few hours earlier. It was okay when Kate was there, but when Patsy was there, we have to arrest this tiny ginger woman. And we need 3 police officers, male police officers, in order to do it. I mean, they knelt on her back on their knees. Patsy's tiny. Patsy's like 5 foot or something. She's really slight. And like, to do that to her. And then all the other stuff about the Met Police having a WhatsApp group where they're laughing at pictures of dead children. All these stories were coming out. I remember walking down the street after the pub gig, and there were all these police officers making sure that, people weren't. I mean, it's a fucking pub gig, mate. I mean, I don't think there was going to be a riot, but whatever. You'd be lucky to have a crowd surfer. But they're standing there, and I just remember feeling distinctly unsafe because of the police. That's got to change. And you know what? Pop up fucking police, pop up fucking prisons. These ideas are fucking crazy. But this has given us an in. This has given us something, right, visceral to throw at Nigel Farage and his supporters. Because we all know someone who supports Nigel Farage. We all know someone who goes, oh, well, maybe he's got a point. And you've got to say to them, listen, I'm going to cut you out of my life if you vote for him. Because there's a good chance that if he gets in charge, I will be deported to a jail in El Salvador. And they'll think it's funny, I know the type. They go, oh, no, that'll never happen. And look at them, serious as fucking shit, and just say, no, this is the plan. This is the plan. They're going to throw dissenters in jail, not in this country, where we might have a few rights. They'll throw me in jail in El Salvador, and you're going to cheer that. You're going to cheer that. Because fuck you if that's what you want. If that's what you want for me. And what about, people with kids? What do they want? Just... Especially if they're older and, they shouldn't give a fuck. I hate how much sort of older people... I'm going to get shit now for being like ageist, but I hate how much of a shit retired people give about, stuff they shouldn't give a shit about anymore. Like, what do they fucking care? People are coming from other countries, taking our jobs. You don't work anymore. Gives a fuck. You're on your nice fucking gold-plated pension. Just enjoy your fucking life. Leave politics to the people whose lives it's affecting now. There's nothing really. If you're on a private pension and you're getting 50 grand a year, no matter what, on top of your state pension, I'm like, give a shit. What's going to happen in society that's going to affect you, realistically? Even if your state pension got taken away, which is not going to happen, but even if it did, you're still getting 50 grand a year, mate. Fucking chill the fuck out. Oh my God. Paula Thomas, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Escaping lawful custody is a common law offence. Oh, okay. A common law offence. So you can be taken to court, even though you're a prisoner and you get taken back to the jail. You can be given a sentence for trying to escape the jail. That was my question. But you say common law, so is that different from law? Sorry, I'm not being facetious asking these questions. I genuinely don't know. I just think it's an interesting question. My neighbour is a little too noisy. Knew our names before we moved in. I don't know, lol. Okay, a bit much, says Scott. Disturbing the soil actually releases more carbon, and time it takes for the trees to grow doesn't offset that for decades. Pete's music, not all boomers. Yeah, I know, but it's like it does seem weird. Like a lot of people who are like, I shouldn't give 16-year-old the vote. I'm like, why the fuck not? Things are going to affect them a lot sooner. Graham, ... to get. Peace music, 15 miles for our man station, our town, 25,000, 4 cops on patrol. Yeah. Read above, depends if force is used. Okay, so Joanna, is that a message from Joanna? I wish I could highlight these bloody messages. Great question for Brit people to pose to friends. It's Farage or me. I would also get people pose the question, it's genocide or me. That gets rid of the Tory / Labour reform, Lib Dems all at once. Well, yeah, I mean, the genocide or me, I mean, the support of the Israeli genocide and that is being, being perpetrated against the people of Gaza. We'll get into this because I'm going to do the paper review in a moment, and it's just one horrific story after another. And I mean, this has got to stop. It's got to stop. How many people have to fucking die in Gaza for our government to actually do anything? For the governments in the EU to actually do something and not get blocked by Slovakia or Hungary or someone who wants people to fucking die. It's too much. It's just too much. Chrissy says, yes, if you attempt to escape lawful custody, you can be charged with a separate offence, potentially receive a maximum sentence of 10 additional years. All right, okay. Most old people I know literally just complain about everything all of the time, says Liam. Same here. But not all boomers, because my mum doesn't. My mum's great. My mum's just empathy personified. If you think 16-year-olds are too immature to decide on the future of the country, I have 2 words for you. Liz Truss. Says Brighton and Hove. Brighton and Hove, actually, yeah. A lot of common law is civil law. So is that separate to criminal law, though? I mean, we just said that if you try and escape lawful custody, you could, Mr. Tiss says, gave to work 40 years, get half final salary as a pension. Hardly any get such. To get 50k, you would have had to be on 100k salary. Yeah. But there are people, I mean, obviously not you, but there are people who are living on a very, very, very generous pension that no longer exists. That the people who are getting their pension today can never, ever dream of having. People who are getting their pension in 20 years' time, 30 years' time, can never dream of getting. I think they're going to put the pensionable age up till 70 when I get to that age. I had a chance to pay into some of my stamps that I've missed when I've been traveling. I've been out of the country too long, and I didn't pay my national insurance stamps for a few years. And Martin Lewis did the thing about buying back your years, and I just thought, oh, fuck it, I mean, like, by the time I can retire, I'll have done the, what is it, minimum 20 or something, 30 that you've got to get. I'll get there. I will get there because I'm not going to be able to retire before then. Simple as that. Joanna, let's take trespass. That's common law and is a civil matter. Aggravated trespass, preventing the lawful use of the land, is a criminal offence. Yeah. Okay. Criminal and civil are different branches of law. Says Diz. I was just interested in whether you toe law, says Billy Kershaw. That's a place around here, isn't it? I was just interested in whether you could actually go to court again for trying to escape the jail. Trying, obviously, because you got caught again. Like Gary Barlow said, words is all we have, says Trip. Indeed. But yeah, I think another Achilles heel for Farage and his ilk is net zero, because reframing it when you talk to people about it as us being dependent on foreign fuel for life, it does speak volumes for going forward, doesn't it? Like, as a society, like, what do we want to build for the future? Do we want to be energy self-sufficient? Do we want to take control of our energy infrastructure and our power generation? Do we want to take that control back for ourselves? Or do we want to be beholden to the whims of foreign dictators in faraway countries for the rest of time, or the rest of the century anyway, until the oil runs out. 35 years, national insurance contributions needed for state pension at present. It will change though. Yeah. Yeah. So I worked it out that like I'm missing a few, but it's just not worth paying them back now because I'm going to have to pay them. I'll just pay them back in the future. I think. Not that I have any hope of ever being able to retire. I think I'm just going to have to keep working till I drop. Like a lot of people, a lot of pensioners now are having to work till they drop, which is not fair, really, when there's other pensioners who are buying a new car each week. So, guys, I have to go. Bye. Oh, sorry, Sarah. Bye. Take care. Have a great day. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Okay, so Morning Brew papers. Yeah. Talking about what's happening in Gaza. Aid attacks. Deadliest days yet in Gaza food queues, fury at inhumane system. David Lammy has said no justification for killing starving children. He tells Benjamin Netanyahu to listen to 82% of Israelis who also want ceasefire. End this horror now. Britain yesterday joined 24 other countries in demanding an end to war, with 61 more Palestinians were killed. As 61 Palestinians were killed queuing for food and water in Gaza. These are unarmed civilians queuing for water and they're being shot dead. Foreign Secretary David Lammy called to stop the slaughter and said the Israeli aid system is inhumane. I condemn the killing of civilians seeking to meet basic needs. It needs to stop. We need to put serious sanctions on this Israel place. It's a fucking rogue state. It's a rogue fucking state. And I'm sick of people trying to justify this for what happened on October the 7th, a couple of years ago. That was horrific. And yes, there are still hostages being held by Hamas, but they're not being held by women and children queuing for water in a refugee camp. Fuck off. Absolutely fuck off. All aid, all subsidies, all trade at the moment that we have with Israel should be fucking suspended until this stops. All of it should stop. And let us put aid into Gaza. They won't even let us bring aid into Gaza. They control it all. Veg Pie, my school friend married a fellow bank teller who rose through the ranks and was eventually in receipt of 250,000 bonuses. He's on a massive pension now. A bank teller. Fuck. That's hard work, isn't it? Oh God, I gotta pick up this bag of fucking pennies from the penny arcade. Also, self-employed national insurance is cheaper to pay if just not working. That's true. And this morning, Israel dismissed the calls, saying focus on Hamas. They just don't care. Yeah, you're right. They just don't care. There's no point in calling for stuff. There's no point in just telling them. Words mean nothing. Actions mean something. We need sanctions on Israel now. Israel turned into a rogue state a long time ago, and our government is still not doing enough. I know they're trying to pursue Benjamin Netanyahu through the courts, but Israel only exists because it's been propped up by the Western Alliance for so long, and it's time for that Western Alliance to turn around and smack Israel in the face and say, stop acting like a bunch of twats. This is it. We're sick of this. We are not supporting this. This is not in our name. Just fucking stop it and make it very clear to the Israeli people that this isn't some drive against them, or the state of Israel as an entity. No, this is a drive against Netanyahu. Netanyahu, a fucking criminal in charge of a criminal cartel that is going out and murdering every day women and children. It's got to stop. It's absolutely got to stop. Farage, 3 strikes and it's life in jail. Thank you for not putting a picture of Farage on the front there. This is a Daily Express here. So Nigel Farage plans a 3 strikes and you're out policy for repeat serious offenders as part of a radical plan to cut crime in half. This doesn't work. This never works. This never fucking works. You've got people serving life sentences in America at great cost to the taxpayer in America for stealing a slice of fucking pizza. Okay? This is not the way it should be done. Like 3 strikes and you're out when it's a capital offense, you know, like murder, maybe. I mean, come on. I mean, I suppose that's 1 strike and you're out, really, isn't it? It should be, yeah. But 3 strikes and you're out, and you go to jail forever. And the crime is what? What is the crime? Oh, they stole a pizza, and so I'm going to put them in jail now forever. That'll stop people stealing pizzas. Fuck off. He's such a fucking idiot, and these are such stupid fucking plans for like saving the fucking world, saving the country from the declining crime rate that we have. To stop people stealing pizzas, okay, well, we'll tell them if they steal a fucking pizza, we'll put them in jail for 50 years. And we'll have to pay for their room and board and security and their warmth and their, you know, while they're not working really for 50 fucking years. Great. Wonderful. What a great fucking plan. We're going to have to, as Gareth T talked about when we talked about prison reform a few weeks ago on how we fix Britain, the idea that the fact that I hadn't even thought of, that when you've got these incredibly elderly people who are on death's fucking door, but maybe last, 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, they're in hospital and they have to have a prison guard stand with them. 2 prison guards. And there's got to be a shift. So there's got to be 2. There's got to be someone there at all times. So you've got 4 prison guards guarding one geriatric fucking prisoner who's been put there for life, who has a life sentence. And it's like, fucking hell, they're nearly dead. Let them out. And so they could be in the same hospital bed, in the same fucking hospital, but John Q, taxpayer over here, isn't paying for 4 fucking prison officers to make sure they're not going to run away. Like, seriously, what a waste of fucking money life sentences are. You get to a certain age, fuck it. Fuck it, let them out. Let the NHS take care of them. I mean, even if they are in for a capital offence when they reach that age, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Unless they're a fucking serial killer or something, or, a killer that actually letting them out would cause more pain for the survivors of their crimes, then maybe fair enough. But the idea that you're going to put someone in jail for robbing a pizza for 50 fucking years, and then when they're on their deathbed, we're going to fucking pay for 4 police officers, prison officers to stand with them. Sit there twiddling the thumbs, playing Tetris on the Game Boy, getting paid by the taxpayer to be... I don't think they've thought this through. Well, they have thought this through. They've done focus groups to decide, to find out what appeals to dickhead fucking voters. Captain Leah's semi-final fitness boost for the Lionesses. So I should say now, I'm not going to be able to do... Geoscope tonight. A few reasons for this, but one of them is we do want to watch the semi-final with the family. So there's going to be no Geoscope tonight, unfortunately. But there will be Morning Brew in the morning, but it'll be a different Morning Brew because it's going to be hosted by Mike Dix, not myself. I'm taking a week off. I'm going to take a week off from doing this. I'm just going to relax. I'm just going to not think about this. I'm going to try and not think about politics for a week. I don't know if I'll be successful, but I'm going to try for the sake of my mental health. And lovely, gorgeous, incredibly talented Michael Dix is going to be stepping in my stead for the next week or so to host the shows. So please be nice to him. And if he makes some minor technical fuck ups, please don't at him too much, because it is quite discombobulating when you're trying to produce stuff yourself and everyone's like, your mouth's out of sync with your voice, and I'm like, what I can do about that right now? if you're on mute, we need to know. We need the data. We need the info. If you can't see me, we need the data. I see there's going to be a football regulator. Will it be called offside? Says Brighton and Hove, actually. No, it's going to be someone mansplaining the offside rule. They're going to regulate the mansplaining. We'll miss you, G, but Mike is a great guy. He is a great guy. He's a lovely, lovely guy. He's one of my favourite humans. It's absolutely one of my favourite humans. Captain Coconut, I know I've said as much all morning. I've stopped hanging out with some boomers who want to vote for him. Yeah. Well, I mean, you might want to have a chat with them about this. You might want to have a chat with them and say, listen, if he gets in charge, he wants to run an authoritarian system that wants to take UK citizens that he decides who's criminals. So someone who's kicked their girlfriend so much they go to jail, not a criminal. Someone who steals a pizza, a criminal. I keep saying this pizza it was a pizza slice. It wasn't even a full pizza. It was a pizza slice. There was a guy in jail right now in California for life on the 3 strikes and you're out rule for stealing a slice of pizza. And that has happened. It'll happen again. Will it be called politics social with dicks? Says Al. As much as I would love that, I don't know. We'll have to see. We were talking about doing a show where it was called was it the Friday night social with dicks? I wonder if the 3 strikes will also include tax offences. I'd love to see a few millionaires locked away using that same logic. Yeah, for 3 different tax offences. Yeah, could be. I'm gonna just jump back to the papers. Let's get through this. We've got the Times bullshit here. We've got Britain's face decade of rising bills in water company overhaul, which we talked about yesterday. Kiss cam and the truth about our affairs. Okay. And then we've got JT Vance of the Cotswolds out. They got him with a sheep. Maybe the sheep's going to be the new couch. Poor sheep. Take it to the edge of a cliff. It pushes back harder. Also, I'm told by my friends in Norfolk. I meant Wales. I haven't meant Yorkshire. I'm joking. It's a joke. It was just New Zealand. I meant Australia. Sheep are for shearing. Fuck off. Get your own. I don't mind co-hosting with Mike if needed. Oh, that's very nice of you, One-Angry Pagan. Thank you. Christopher Bowles, football regulators' first task is Morecambe Football Club. Yes, is it? I don't know. You need to tell me more. Tell me more about Morecambe Football Club. But meanwhile, we'll go patients at risk during walkouts, warns BMA. NHS chiefs tell hospital to continue operations. The British Medical Association has warned that patients will not be safe in the NHS hospitals during a 5-day strike beginning on Monday. The Doctors' Union said in a decision by NHS leaders not to cancel all routine appointments meant that senior doctors would be spread too thinly to provide emergency and urgent care. Up to 50,000 resident doctors, formerly known as junior doctors, are set to strike from 7 a.m. on Friday, July the 25th, to 7 a.m. on Wednesday, July the 30th, in the pursuit of a 29% pay rise. I still don't think that it's actually going to happen. I hope that I'm right on this one, and I'll be able to do my I was right. I'll be able to show this. I was right. Hurrah! I don't want to be in the situation when I come back on next week and the doctors are still on strike, the resident doctors, and I have to say I was wrong and I accept responsibility. But I'm pretty sure there'll be an 11th hour set up with the BMA to prevent this strike. I really would be very surprised if it does go ahead, and I hope that it doesn't go ahead. I hope that negotiations are successful, which will go up to the 11th hour because they always do. You talk about mental health, but Excel isn't work, says Campbell. Okay, fair enough. I will take that hit. That is fair enough. Because Excel is hard work. Excel is hard work. It was invented by sadists who were trying to crib off Lotus 123 and somehow made a program that, if you know how to use it, you're golden, you're sweet. But put one foot wrong and you are. You fucked. Paula Thomas, thank you so much for the £10 super chat. I'm still laughing at Cappell's mention there. Just to clear up, murder is a common law offence. There is no statutory offence. This is because no one has ever seen the point of expending parliamentary time on it. That is really interesting. So murder is a common law offence. That's mad, isn't it? It's really interesting. It's really interesting the way that our laws have evolved over the years, and they're all built on the stuff that came before. There's something biological in that, the biological evolution. They say you can't just, with the way that biology works is if planes worked in the same way, they'll still have to use, the wheels from the Sopwith camel in order, or Flyer One. Yes, I know it was. Okay, they'll have to use the fuselage or whatever from the Flyer One, the Wright brothers plane, in order to they'll have to incorporate that somehow into stealth fighter technology. You can't just start again. You've got to build on what was already there and take things apart. But then you get to sort of Theseus's boat thing. Is it Theseus who had a boat? He had a thesaurus. Theseus. He liked to look at words in it, but he had a boat, didn't he? And every single piece of the boat was replaced over time. And was it still the same boat? But yeah, I'm looking forward to Mike presenting. If you find a pun in that, that's on it. Thank you very much to L for that. I will be giving him the squeaky tank, so hopefully he'll use it. Joanna says, Excel is torture. Imagine rewriting all the financial calculations of a markets analysis software in it to connect back to that program and verify its calculations. That was awful. Oh my God, Joanna. Yeah. Okay, I'll let you off. Grappling with Microsoft Excel is a lot like working down a mine in many ways. It's just as dangerous to your health. Okay, so back to the Reform story that I was talking about today. Reform want beefy bobbies on the beat. I mean, just is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Bobbies on the beat should be big strapping male officers to strike fear into criminals. So he wants RoboCop. He wants RoboCop, which was a satire about the dickheads like Farage getting into power. Then we've got the Daily Mail here. If you really can get sunburnt eyes, if you don't wear shades, yes, you can. Britain is facing societal collapse, warns Farage. Lawlessness is taking home very rapidly. Yeah, not least in his party. And then we've got a picture of a guy and his girlfriend. Right. Okay, cool. Needed to see that, obviously. Israel launches offences on Gaza aid hub amid fears of starvation. Smoke billowing from building in the Al Nasser neighborhood in central Gaza after an Israeli strike yesterday. That's the photo there, which is used on other papers as well. Raids start as UK joins 24 countries condemning the killing of Palestinians. We need to do more than condemn it. We need sanctions on Israel now. Repay costs of designer clothes. Blairs were told. God, fucking what? This is a story from 25 years ago. Great, put that on the front cover of your newspaper. Broken water industry faces tighter oversight, which we talked about yesterday, didn't we? Same picture there, or near the same picture, in the front page of the Independent. Schools out and more parents than ever are using tech to spy on their children. Please don't, because it fucks your kids up. Please don't spy on them all the time. When they're teenagers, it's the time that they need to have a bit of space to do daft shit, unfortunately. And I know it's very tempting to go down the Black Mirror route and get a little app for your phone so you can see through your child's eyes, but you've got to take your foot off the gas. You really do, or you risk rearing a very damaged individual if you overparent in their teenage years. Let them have a bit of freedom. Let them discover stuff for themselves. Retirement, but obviously, if they need help, be there for them. Be there to pick them up at 3:00 in the morning from town if they need that. Okay. Retirement age at risk of tsunami in pensioner poverty. Another review of pensions launch as Minister Wade warns triple lock guarantee is costing $31 billion a year, and charity says workers who retire in 2050 will get £800 per year less than today. Of course you will. I'm one of those people who, will think of retiring in 20 years' time. But I'm not going to be able to. I'm not going to be able to retire. I'm just not. Kind of made me peace with it. Chosen my path in life, and it's a daft path, which makes me no money. Come on, England. We've got a thing about the Lionesses in the semi-final tonight when they take on Italy. I hope we win. Do you know what this is setting it all up for, boys and girls? Do you know what this is setting up for? An England-Germany final. Oh, yes! Bring it on. Bring it on. Let's do it. Let's do it. Water firms finally face automatic fines for illegal sewage, dumping of sewage. My son died alone at 28. 10 years on, I found a way to live with my mistakes. Again, be there for your kids when they need you, not when they don't need you. Can I make that really clear? I know you shouldn't give out parenting advice because everyone raises their children differently, but this is really important because, I mean, there's people in my life who have been affected by this sort of thing. Be there for your kids when they need you, and don't be there if they don't need you, okay? That's my advice. I know you didn't ask for it, and the worst thing in life is unwarranted advice, but unasked for advice. But you might get to a point with your kids where they just drive you up the fucking wall and you tell them to fuck off. And you want to sever ties with them, and that could be the worst possible thing to do. That could be the worst possible thing to do. And you got to ask yourself, just like drinking up to the limit and then causing a car accident in which a child dies, could you live with yourself? And if the answer is yes, then okay, cool. I could live with myself if the worst happens. But if you couldn't live with yourself, if the worst happened, don't get into a situation where you didn't do everything in your power to prevent that from happening. That's my advice. I'm old enough now to give advice. I love my husband, but at 50, I wish I married for money. Kat, did you write that? Rise in state pension age beyond 68 is inevitable. Warns Farage as future of triple lock in doubt. Thanks for that, Farage. Fuck leader says he fears pensions are unaffordable at a national level. So he wants to come for your pensions as well. So the people who aren't pensioners now, he wants to come for our pensions, and he wants to throw the undesirables like myself into jail in a fucking El Salvador, where we'll likely be, murdered violently with our guts spilled all over the floor. Nice guy. That's what he wants. He wants the best for us all, obviously. The dark side of the solar power crusade. Fuck off, Daily Telegraph, paid for by the foreign liquid, foreign sludge, foreign slop campaigners. The companies, the big oil companies, obviously pay for this advertising at the top there. The solar power, it's bad, really. Now, those solar panels can be recycled. We can get the metal out of them. We can get the silicon out of them. We can get all of the bits that make them the solar panels. We can recycle them. We can make them better. We can get the raw materials out of them. That's the equivalent of showing a pile of cars and just saying the dark side of cars. Yeah, most cars are made of stuff that is recyclable. We crush them, we melt them down, we separate the materials. We can make more cars from the scrap that we get from old cars. We can do that. It's fine. Lioness is ready to defy racist trolls. I don't think they should have to defy racist trolls. I don't think the racist trolls should be allowed to get away with it. But there you go. We've got Rayner demands tax on tourists. Deputy PM at odds with Reeves over policy that risks putting pressure on hospitality firms. This is about Angela Rayner pushing for councils to be given new powers to tax tourists like they do in Liverpool and in Manchester. I think this is fair enough. I think it's something that we should be allowed to do. Countess's 2 million battle with Spencer's new partner. So this is the Countess Spencer, the estranged wife of Earl Spencer, and his new girlfriend is expected to cost 2.2 million. Lady Spencer's been accused of sharing private medical information about Kat Jarman, who is now dating the Earl. Okay. I'm just going to say this very loud for the people at the back. I don't give a fuck. Cheers. Okay, just in case they didn't hear me. Pension age could rise under Labour shake-up. I'm sure it will. Davos leader rigged data to make Brexit look like a failure. So what happened was in 2017, just after the Brexit vote, Britain's stats, because it was taken from before the Brexit vote, showed an uptick. So they said, actually, no, we've got to take into consideration the Brexit vote in this figure. So we're going to keep it lower than it should be. Because we don't want people thinking that they voted for Brexit and suddenly the economy's got better because people are fucking stupid, and that's what they'll take from that. So they didn't. They just said, okay, well, we'll just make it look like, fair enough, that the economy's gone down, which it did. So it was pretty accurate. It just wasn't giving the figures from before the vote. has given the figures from after the vote when our economy did go down. A rise in pensionable age is inevitable, warns Farage. That means he intends to raise pensions. Of course he does. Back onto the papers here. Sewage floods breaches ahead of summer break, of course. Vinegar on the chips and bleach on the fish, please. All fish coaches locally. That's a joke there from Matt, who's very funny. We've got unions want 6K a day, £6,000 a day to cover doctor strikes. Blair handed 50k as designer closes PA. Don't care. Wimbledon wins fight to expand its grounds. So, okay. We've got Metro here saying, come on England, with a lovely picture of the lionesses there, all looking like they're having fun, which is kind of cool. I like that. We should have more covers like that. And then we've got the FT, which is talking about manufactured diamonds or artificial diamonds. Thank you very much to Ivan. You aren't an artificial diamond. You are an actual diamond. Thank you so much, Ivan. Tory shadow cabinet is being reshuffled today. Just 8 months of Badenoch being Tory leader. Absolutely beyond a circus. It is indeed. Does a cabinet reshuffle makes you look weak. So we've got diamond jewelers for lab gems. This is apparently about these gems that are now going for. They used to go for a fraction of the cost of real diamonds, but now they're going for half the cost of real diamonds, as more people are just getting them, because who fucking knows? Who fucking cares? They look the fucking same. I mean, obviously those diamonds that they're holding up there aren't actually polished, they're just raw diamonds, but they're all lab-grown diamonds. They look exactly the same. You wouldn't know. So, if I ever went down on one knee, I would get a lab-grown diamond, because fuck getting diamonds from Sierra Leone when, you know, De Beers has done so much to create carnage around the world by owning all of the diamond mines and absolutely monopolizing the diamond industry, and then locking diamonds away in vaults in Switzerland in order to make the price of diamonds artificially high. Diamonds are quite common, but it takes billions of years to make diamonds via nature. It takes about a day, doesn't it, to grow diamonds. To grow diamonds in a lab. They've been able to do it since 1963. 1963. That's amazing. They've been able to do it for 60 years. 60 years they've been able to do that. And people go, no, I want a real one. I don't give a fuck. Looks the same. I wouldn't know. Britain to be charged by Brussels for sales won via 150 billion weapons fund. EU aims to rally 800 billion euro spending. Deals to boost business. Fair trade sought for benefits. Okay, cool. Britain will have to pay the EU a percentage of the value of any weapons bought from UK companies via a Brussels-led defence fund under plans being drawn up by the bloc. Well, that's what happens when you leave the EU. Wise man counsels against governance change folded into fintech's listing shift. I have no idea what that means. And then Trump versus Murdoch lawsuit shatters unison of US right. A story about Murdoch and Trump going at it. Legally. Right. So, who have we got left? We have Joanna. It was Reuters' main product in the 1980s, the RT2000 terminal for market data, equation for analysis, all based on IDN backbone. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know what any of it means. And I bet Spencer looked better before the nose job. For the record, I think Mike Dix is brilliant. I will be extremely careful what I type when he hosts. Any puns, what I type is on you. Don't worry, he's got a thick skin as well. He's been through the mill. That 97 game was amazing, says Diz. Cathal says, I remember using some kind of Reuters terminal occasionally. The worst package since Lotus Notes. Joanna, just realised my career was weird, from financial to aerospace with finish at automotive. You're a smart cookie, Joanna. So, and sounds very interesting there from Cathal and Trip. I'm only close to one. Don't know any others, says Trip. Okay, right. I'm going to go back to bed. I'm going to go and have some breakfast. I'm fucking starving, mate. Fucking starving. It's 11 o'clock. And I'm bloody starving. So I've done 2 hours. It's always a bit late getting started. Do you know what it is? It's like I'm waking up in the morning. I'm just looking at. It's harder on news days when every newspaper has a different story. When every newspaper has the same story, it's a lot easier to put notes together to talk about one particular news story. But when there's like 17 different papers and 17 different stories, it's like, oh, do we talk about Gaza? Do we talk about Nigel Farage? Do we talk about water? Do we talk about pensions? So like, it takes me more time to sort of decide. And then in the run up to 9 o'clock, suddenly my ADHD adrenaline kicks in. I'm like, right, I've got to make a decision. Decisions actually like I get like decision paralysis up until it's like I can see the clock ticking down. I have to start the show soon, and I'm like, okay, do it. So yeah, that's why sometimes you get the standard, the default thumbnail instead of the actual jazzy thumbnail, which I occasionally do after the show rather than before the show, because I've run out of time to make it before the show. Sadiq Khan is a lovely man, says Mikey B. Yes, Sadiq Khan is a lovely man. Thank you for that, Mikey. You're very right. Enjoy the holes, Graham. Great day all. Enjoy the match, anyone watching. So yes, like I said, I'm going to take a week off. I'll be back possibly, I think, a week on Friday, in which it's up to Mike if he wants to do the next that following Friday. But if not, I'll be taking back the reins of the show. Mike will be doing morning brews in the morning, and he may be doing some of the evening shows as well. The schedule might not look quite the same, so please, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, for the love of God, can I stress this? For the love of God, subscribe and press the bell notification icon. So when we're going to go live, you'll get a notification telling you when we are going live. And I'm sure Mike will be better at actually getting things up, because obviously you can put a live show up like days in advance if you know that there's going to be a live show. And something I should probably do with just a generic placeholder for like, there'll be a morning brew at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Set that up the night before and then do the actual details and the thumbnail the next day. I think that's what I'm going to start doing, actually. So that when people go onto YouTube the night before, they'll see picture of me with me coffee, and it says starts at 9 o'clock, tomorrow. Ivan, thank you so much for the super chat. Everyone is out to get me, not just adversaries, but allies too. I don't think that, mate. Just no one. I do think that the fuckers are just they don't care about anyone. They don't care about anyone. But it's difficult these days. For everyone's mental health, it is difficult, and I realize that, and I appreciate it, and I try not to, I try to help. I try to help as best I can. I'm not perfect, and I sometimes fuck up and sometimes say the wrong thing. I'm sure people like get to a certain point on these shows and like, oh, fuck off, Graham, and like unsubscribe. But yeah, if people who are allies, Ivan, have upset you, talk to them. Just write to them and say, listen, I was upset by this thing that you said or this thing you did, and discuss it, because they're not out to get you. They're not out to get you. They really aren't. They might have a different focus. They might be hyper focused on a different thing, and that comes across sometimes as they don't care about the things that you care about. But that's not necessarily the whole story, and it is hard to sort of give a fuck about so many different things all at once, because it becomes overwhelming, and it is a little bit easier for our little monkey brains to just focus on one thing, say, right, we need to make this one thing better. We need to focus on this. And yeah, it's not to say that other things that are bad that we need to sort out aren't going on in the world, but it just means that you can give the time and attention to that one thing that it needs in order to hopefully make it better for yourself and make it better for everybody else in society. And I know there's people watching this who are very much for rejoining the EU, as am I. But that's not necessarily my main focus at the moment. Back when I was fighting against Brexit, obviously stopping Brexit was my main focus. It wasn't necessarily austerity, but I tied them into one, because if we stopped Brexit, there'll be no point in austerity. But we didn't stop Brexit, so here we are. Alistair says, chat, you all stay safe, stay well. Have a good day wherever you are. Oh, Alistair's so lovely. Thank you very much. Lots of waves. Is there anyone with the surname of Fanny you can get on? Dixon Fanny. I don't know. We need more people who travel here on boats, says Mikey. Yeah, we do. Well, actually, we could do them without coming on boats, because the ultra wealthy coming here on yachts, they tend to not contribute too much to society. So what we need to do is actually have a system where people can apply for asylum in Calais and come over here on the ferry, and I'm happy to pay for that. I'll pay for their ferry ticket. Because we know they're going to come here and improve our society and improve our economy, because that's what immigrants do. Love them. Can't get enough of them. Okay, so heading off now. I will see you in just over a week's time. Have a wonderful break from me for a little while. And be safe. Look after yourselves. If you need to take a break yourself from all this shit for the sake of your own mental health, please do that. I may pop in. I'm not going to entirely disappear for a week, but I'm going to try my best just to have a few days with my family where I'm not going fucking bananas about the shit that's happening in the news, because the fash are on the ascendancy, and there's weird little people who keep following them around thinking that if they outfash the fash, then the fash will give them some of their money that they were born into. They're not. They were born into that money. They're not giving it up for anyone. They're not going to give it up even to their children until they're dead. I mean themselves, not their children. So yes, have excellent break, Graham, says Alistair. Thank you, Alistair. That's very kind of you. And Elle says, bye, a week of dicks. Yeah, enjoy your week of dicks, my friends. Give us a like on the way out, as I often say. And I won't be back in the morning with Morning Brew. So, but my dicks will be. So 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, please join in and help Mike out as best you can. And until next time, I'll say thank you so much for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.